Hey guys, so today I'm going to do the my first time tag. So let's get right into it. Do you still talk to your first love? I'm going to have to say no. I don't really talk to people that I talked to when I was younger, mostly because they've either left or they're just not worth my time anymore. So, what was your first alcoholic beverage? So, back in the day, my mom used to like to do karaoke at the bars. So I think it was like one weekend, um, the bar was closed, and pretty much they did karaoke out on the porch with wine coolers and all sorts of shit. So my first alcoholic drink was, I think it was like a Hawaiian Punch wine cooler or something. So, what was your first job? My first job was working in my stepdad's restaurant. He needed a busboy. I was like 14 or maybe like 12 or something. But anyways, I was busting tables, and this one waitress she was like drinking on the job, and she kept like bumping into me all the time. So I dropped like $20 worth of, no, I would say probably about $45 worth of plates on the ground twice. What was your first car? My first car was a 1999 Ford Escort. It was maroon. It was hideous, but it was a standard, and it was like a fucking go-kart everywhere. And I could fill it up for like $30, and I wouldn't have to worry about filling it up for, I don't know, probably a week. It was amazing. Up until the clutch went out. A friend of mine put the clutch in. Obviously, he didn't know how to put the fucking clutch in. So then eventually other problems started happening, and I fucking just got rid of it. Who was the first person to text you today? That's a good question, because I don't think anybody has texted me, but we'll find out. Nope. Nobody's texted me at all today. Like, that nobody really wants to talk to me, and oh well, their fucking problem. Who was, or who is the first person you thought of this morning? I'd have to say my mom, because she obviously needed her meds. So, yeah, my mom. Who was your first grade teacher? I don't fucking know. I'm 26. Do you think I remember that shit? I do remember my fifth grade teacher in Florida that I went to, in the school is called Romeo Elementary, and her name was Miss Bell, and she was horrid. She hated me, and I did nothing to her, but whatever. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? I went to Clearfield Job Corps, and I stayed there for about 6 months, and I absolutely hated it. I didn't go to classes. I missed my friends and family, so I decided that I didn't want to do this anymore, and I left. And yeah, it was probably the biggest waste of time in my life. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? No. My first real best friend, I would say, it was my friend Joel Jately. But he died a couple of years ago, so we don't talk anymore. We also had some really bad issues with his wife and other things at that time, where everything was just chaotic. So, um, and no, we don't talk anymore because he died, or he passed away. We don't know exactly what happened, but it's fine now. I mean, I do have other best friends now. I would have to say hi. Hey to Cassandra, Joey, Adrian, Jessica, and that's probably about it. Oh, and Violet, because I don't really talk to that many people. I have maybe 5 best friends, and that's it. Or 5 people that I would actually even hang out with. So, Where was your first sleepover? I don't know. I don't remember like, a lot from my childhood, mostly because it was pretty dreadful. But would have to say my first sleepover was over at a friend's house for a Halloween party, and it was like my first Halloween party I'd ever been to. Um, and him and his mom lived, or him and his family lived about, I don't know, like 20 minutes away. So I stayed the night after the Halloween party. So who was the first person you talked to today? I'd have to say nobody, because everybody was sleeping. And then I went for a run, or yeah, I went for a jog because today was like the first good day in like a week. So I really haven't talked to anybody. Oh, no, no. Whose wedding were you in the first time? Probably my mom's when she got married to my stepdad, um, which was probably one of the biggest mistakes of her life. Yada yada yada. We won't get into it. I was the ring bearer. That's all we're gonna say. What was the first thing you did this morning? I went up to go pee because I drank like a half a liter. No, I drink a good amount of water before I go to bed every night. So the first thing I do automatically in the morning is go to the bathroom. First piercing, it was my right ear, and now they're gauged up to zeros. And now I have these. I have my nose done, my labrae, which I don't have a ring in, but I've also had my eyebrow done. There's a few things that I want to get done like later on down the road, but we can hold off on those. First movie you remember seeing? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Disney movies. Like I remember, my favorite movie was The Little Mermaid. I remember watching that movie all the time, and then I found, like The Lion King. I watched that repeatedly, and I watched it so much. I watched it so much, like by the time that I, had been like 10 or something, when I moved on to like Powerpuff Girls and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like these tapes would not work anymore because I had watched them over and over and over again. When was your first detention? I don't remember exactly when, but I think it was in like seventh grade, and I don't remember what it was for. Most likely, like back talking a teacher. I'm not entirely too sure, but I do know that I was the only middle school kid with a bunch of high schoolers, and they kept picking on me because I was younger, and they like already knew that I was a little shit. But yeah, I would say like probably seventh grade. Who was your first roommate? Um, Going back to who was, my best friend or my first best friend, I'm gonna have to say it was Crystal and Joel. Jately. Yeah, I don't know, like my parents really didn't care what I did because I was responsible about taking care of business and things like that. So I moved in with my best friends at the time, and we just got shit done. Shit. Okay, so these are gonna be 5 relationship questions. Yeah. My first boyfriend. I've never had a boyfriend, so I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, do you feed it? Do you give it water? Do you put newspaper down whenever you leave the house? Like, what do you do? My first kiss. My first kiss was actually with a girl, but I really, like, that's when I found out that I really wasn't interested in women. I don't know. That's when I really did know that I wasn't interested in women. My first kiss to a guy, though, was when I was 12. My first crush was on this girl. When we were in middle school, I thought, like, I liked her, but then it turned out to be, cool and kind of popular and things like that. But since I was a chunkiest little kid, it's like, oh, hey, you're not cool enough, or I was 2 grades below her, or something. Either way, um, now we don't fucking talk, which is okay with me, because I really don't care. My first job, we've already talked about that. My first time having sex. Um, 12 or 13? No, it was probably 13 or 14. I'm a guy. Leave me alone. And puberty hits really early in my family. Like, my mom hit puberty at 10. I hit puberty at like 10 and a half, maybe 11. But it was quite early, so. Well, if you enjoyed my video, subscribe below, hit the like button, and I'll see you later.